Imagine a seemingly quiet street where all the neighbors greet each other, go about their daily routines, and share little stories of their daily lives. Now imagine one of these houses, seemingly like all the others, hiding a secret that would completely change the lives of those who lived there. This was the case with my neighbor, a married woman who every night welcomed a mysterious man into her home, without her husband suspecting anything. With each passing day, the secret became more risky, and the line between normality and chaos grew ever thinner. What seemed like mere daring behavior quickly turned into a time bomb ready to explode, and when the husband finally found out, nothing was ever the same again. Today, I will tell this story divided into chapters, every detail, every tense moment, and the consequences that no one in that neighborhood could have imagined. It all began on an ordinary evening, when I, returning late from work, noticed a man standing in front of my neighbor's house. He seemed anxious, looking around, and suddenly the door opened. Smiling, she welcomed him as if he'd been expected. That scene stuck in my mind. At first, I thought it was just a longtime friend, perhaps a distant relative. But the visits began to repeat themselves, always at the same time, always with the same careful routine to avoid attracting attention. Gradually, I realized it wasn't a coincidence. There was something hidden behind that nocturnal smile. As the days passed, the man's presence became part of the secret daily life of that house. He always arrived after 10 at night when the street was quieter. The living room light would come on and stay that way for hours. It was as if the neighbor had constructed a parallel world, existing only within those walls. The curious thing is that during the day, she maintained the perfect image of a devoted wife, always by her husband's side, helping him in everything. This duplicity of behavior intrigued me, because she seemed to master the art of living two lives without arousing suspicion. Over time, I realized I wasn't the only one to notice this strange behavior. Other neighbors began whispering, always avoiding saying what they really thought. It was as if everyone knew something was going on, but no one had the courage to confront her. Each night, the silence of the street was broken by the discreet sound of a car pulling up in the distance, and there he was again, entering through the door as if he were part of the family. The mystery grew, and with each repetition, doubt turned to certainty. It wasn't just friendship. Meanwhile, her husband lived completely oblivious to everything. A hard worker, he arrived late some days, and on others he seemed to trust his wife so much that he saw no reason to suspect. He spoke proudly of her, praised her dedication, and even commented on how lucky he felt to have someone so faithful by his side. This contrast between his trust and the secret she kept became increasingly painful to watch. It was like watching a play in which the protagonist is completely unaware of the true plot. Everything went on in silence until, one particular night, something unexpected happened. The man arrived earlier than usual, and unfortunately, an observant neighbor recorded every detail. Unlike other times, their rush to enter made a lot of noise. Doors slamming, hurried footsteps, suppressed laughter, signs that didn't go unnoticed. The next morning, the rumor spread like wildfire. What had previously been mere suspicion became practically a certainty among us all. The neighborhood no longer viewed that house the same way. Gossip filled the street. Every corner had its own version of the story, and her image began to tarnish. Curiously, she didn't seem to care. She continued to greet the man, ignoring the sidelong glances and pretending nothing was happening. Her boldness drew attention, as if she were certain she would never be caught. But the greater the confidence, the greater the risk of a slip-up that would ruin everything. One day, her husband arrived home earlier than expected. He noticed a detail he had never noticed before, the masculine scent permeating the air, different from his own. That sparked a spark of doubt. At first, he tried to convince himself he was imagining things, but his mind wouldn't rest. Gradually, he began to observe his wife more closely, noticing small changes in her behavior that had previously gone unnoticed. Driven by suspicion, the husband decided to test his wife's loyalty. He pretended he was on a business trip, but in reality, he was hiding outside the house. His heart raced with every passing minute, and as predicted, the man appeared, confident, unaware that he was walking into a trap. It was at that moment that the husband silently confirmed what he had already feared. The betrayal was not just a rumor, it was reality. That night, the silence was replaced by screams. The husband burst in and found the two together. The shock on the faces of his wife and lover was indescribable. Accusations flew, tears mixed with despair, and the mask finally slipped. The neighbors heard every detail, and the entire street stopped to watch the outcome. Years of trust shattered in minutes. After the discovery, the family's life changed completely. The husband walked away, devastated by disappointment. The neighbor, once admired, became the target of judgment and disapproving looks. Her lover disappeared overnight, leaving her alone to face the weight of her choices. The home that once seemed so welcoming has now become a symbol of betrayal and downfall. This story shows us how secrets can seem safe until the truth decides to come out. A double life may last for a while, but it always leaves traces. In the end, nothing stays hidden forever, and the price of lying can be much higher than imagined. But what few know is that after all this, another secret came to light. Something even more surprising than the betrayal itself. Want to find out what happened next? Then don't miss the next video, because the revelation will shock you even more than anything you've heard so far. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this story full of twists and turns and emotions, don't forget to leave a naughty like and share it with your friends. To our loyal followers, you're amazing, always supporting the channel with your comments and energy. And if you're just arriving, welcome. Subscribe to the channel, activate the bell so you don't miss any updates, and come be part of our community that loves real and impactful stories. We have much more to come, so let's grow together. Subscribe now and join the family.